Hello Year 11, tomorrow you will be sitting your paper 1, which is your Cold War paper for your PPEs. So you can expect tomorrow to have 3 questions. The first one is an explain 2 consequences of a particular event, which is worth 8 marks, and you're going to spend 10 minutes on that. The second question you have is a write a narrative account analysing, and it'll either be analysing a particular event or a particular period of time. And again, that's worth 8 marks, and you're going to spend 15 minutes writing the answer to that. The third question you have is explain the importance of an event for a situation. They're worth 8 marks each, and you're going to answer 2 of those. So 16 marks in total, and you're going to spend approximately 25 minutes writing that. You've also got 10 minutes planning time in this particular exam, so make sure that you read the questions carefully and take advantage of that time to annotate them and to gather your thoughts. Right, Year 11. So the first question you're going to have is an explain 2 consequences of a particular event. So the first thing you're going to do when you open up that paper is you are going to underline the key words of the question. Do not start answering the question until you've read it properly and you've underlined the key words. So a particular thing to pay attention to is the event. What is the event in the question? Then what you're going to do is above the word consequences, you're going to write the phrase because of, because a consequence just means what happened because of a particular event. You'll notice on your page tomorrow as well that the words consequence 1 and consequence 2 are already printed for you, so that shows you where you need to write your consequences. The first consequence needs to go under consequence 1 and the second consequence needs to go under consequence 2. Start your answer with the words 1 consequence of whatever the event is in the question was, and everybody can do that because you're rearranging the words of the question in your answer, and that gives you a little bit of thinking time. And the second consequence, you're going to start with a second consequence of the event in the question was. If you struggle to think of a consequence, just think, did tension increase or did it decrease because of the event in the question? Were there positive impacts of the event in the question or negative impacts? So that's your starting point. And once you've decided that, you can then give examples to support your point. And the way that we attach examples is to write for example. The second question that you're going to come across tomorrow is a question which asks you to write a narrative account analysing either an event or a period of time, and it's worth 8 marks. Again, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to underline the key words in the question. And that includes any dates in the question, because if there are dates in the question, it gives you clues as to what you should start with and what you should end with. Then around the question, before you start writing your answer, you are going to write down 3 things that you know happened within the time period. And that's going to be your plan. If you spend 2 minutes writing down the things that you can remember about that time period, it's going to make writing your narrative more straightforward. Start your answer with the earliest event in the time period. Remember, this is a chrono-link question, so you have to write about events in chronological order. We need a beginning, a middle, and an end. So the way that you're going to phrase this is by starting your answer with in and then whichever the earliest date is, or you could start your answer with in the beginning of the period and then describe what happened in the beginning. Remember to use linking phrases throughout your work because you're writing a narrative account analysing events. So you have to understand how one event led to another, so you can show this in your answers by writing this led to, or because of this, as a result of this. And make sure that you write your narrative ending with an event from the last date in the question. The third style of question that you're going to come across tomorrow is an explain the importance of an event for a situation. Again, the first thing you're going to do before you answer the question is to underline the key words of the question. And in this case, you're going to underline the event and the situation. The event is always going to be important because it's changed the situation in some way. So either the event in the question will have made the situation better, it will have improved relations and decreased tension, or the event will have made the situation worse, it will have worsened relations and increased tension. Make sure you use the words of the question in the opening sentence. So for example, if your question was, explain the importance of the Bay of Pigs invasion for Cold War relations, you would start your answer with, the Bay of Pigs invasion was important for Cold War relations because it, and in that case, made relations worse and increased tension. Then you need to use your knowledge to support your decision. So for example, if you've said an event made relations worse and increased tension, you're then going to write the words, for example, and you're going to give your example of how it made relations worse and increased tension. And then you need to develop your answer by explaining that. So for example, if we were looking back at the question about the Bay of Pigs, so explain the importance of the Bay of Pigs invasion for the development of the Cold War or for Cold War relations, you would say, the Bay of Pigs invasion was important for the Cold War relations because it worsened relations and increased tension. For example, following the Bay of Pigs invasion, Castro declared himself a communist, which meant that Cuba became closer to the Soviet Union, and as a result, the Soviet Union put nuclear missile bases on Cuba. This increased tension because missiles could be fired at all major US cities. Remember, with this question, you need to answer two of them. There are 3 options. You need to choose 2, and each option is worth 8 marks each. And finally, Year 11, it is not too late. If you have not sat down and revised all topics, what you can see in front of you are a list of pages that you could revise from. So on the left, we've got the online Pearson revision guide, looking at those pages, so from 2, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18 and 19. You can go on, you can complete the quick quizzes, you can complete the tasks on each page. Alternatively, you can also look at the Cold War homework booklet and you can see the pages there. And if you don't have your paper copy, that is saved onto Arbor. Good luck.